The sky over Metropolis didn't crack. It peeled. Clouds unspooled like wet paper as the atmosphere rippled outward from a point above Centennial Park. Streetlights stuttered in unison, phones died mid-ring, and drones dropped into fountains like stunned insects. The noise was wrong. Not thunder, but a pressure rolling through bone. A cathedral organ note you could taste. Pigeons fell silent. The city seemed to lean in. In the Daily Planet bullpen, monitors went black. Perry White's howl cut across the floor. Backup power. Where's my... And then everyone heard it. A whisper that wasn't in the air. Be calm. No language. Pure intent. Half the room sat down at their desks with tears in their eyes, and no idea why. Across the river, Bruce Wayne looked up from a satellite feed in a windowless room miles beneath Gotham. The data didn't make sense. Energy vectors moving upward from the ground, not down from the sky, as if reality itself was tired of being ordinary. He blinked. The feed fuzzed into a silhouette of gold. He was already in the Batwing before the algorithms finished failing. Above the park, a wound of impossible light opened. Not purple, not neon cosmic, but purposeful gold that burned like a conviction you could hold. Wind reversed. Fountains froze mid-spray. The air bent around a descending figure in ornate auramite armor. Every plate etched with sigils that made human sight flinch. People knelt without deciding to. Across the continent, Diana of Themyscira felt her brace's heat, a memory in the metal, the scream of old gods meeting a new one. She took to the sky, leaving a white line of displaced clouds. At the edge of the solar system, Hal Jordan pivoted green light toward Earth. His ring whispering override denied. Unknown authority detected. Since when, he hissed. The ring didn't answer. It was listening. In the Kansas sky, a red-blue streak curved, slowed and stopped. Clark floated above the park, eyes narrowed against the radiance. He could hear 100,000 heartbeats accelerating, a million circuits dying at once, and there, an older heart, a single will expanding like a net. You don't have to be afraid, Clark said, hovering at a careful distance. The golden figure touched grass. It crystallized under his boots, blades freezing into translucent amber that rang when the wind moved them. When he lifted his gaze, his eyes were as old as architecture. I am not here to be feared, he answered, and the sentence landed in every mind in the city at once. I am here to end fear. Cameras that shouldn't have worked sputtered back to life long enough to transmit one frame, a face both human and myth, framed in night black hair, crowned by a light that wasn't light. The caption would come later when people had words again. The Emperor of Mankind had arrived. The ground trembled a polite centimeter. A bronze statue of Superman cracked down the middle. Power source? Batman asked over league hums. Voice sandpaper calm. Nothing I understand, Cyborg replied. A dozen firewalls collapsing in his cortex like paper barricades. He's broadcasting intent. It's rewriting heuristics. A red bolt skated in and stopped on the park's rim. Barry took off his mask, breath frosting even though the air was warm. Guys, time didn't stop, but it started respecting someone else. Two golden irises found Clark. When the stranger spoke again, his voice layered, air, mind, and something older that made the grass bow. You defend a species that bleeds itself for symbols. In my reality I ended that. I will end it here. Earth has guardians, Diana said, landing beside Clark. Lasso of truth coiled at her hip, the aura of Olympus bristling like a shield. We do not submit to strangers. The Emperor inclined his head with a gravity that felt like a verdict. I see divinity in you, a fragment, but your gods play with mortals as if they were toys. I make mortals a purpose. Green light folded into a construct barricade around the park. Hal hovered above it, jaw set, containment field up. The Emperor turned a palm toward it. The construct unraveled politely, like a well-made sweater accepting the end of its thread. Hal felt his ring hesitate, not in fear, but in consideration. Inside the watchtower, John Johns recoiled, hands at his temples. Not telepathy, he rasped. Presence. A mind that doesn't sit in space but leans on it. Options, Batman said. Talk, Clark answered, never looking away. Then, see, sirens faded. The city listened. My name is unimportant, the Emperor said, which is what beings say when they do not fear being forgotten. I shepherded humanity through its worst night, and paid the price. Your world is loud, its powers undisciplined, its saviors sentimental. You will not survive your next century. A tremor shivered through the multiverse so quietly, only 3 beings felt it. A man on a throne of lightning in a rock of eternity that remembers everything. A king on Apocalypse, whose eyes are knives, and a specter in green who answers to judgment. The Emperor's eyes softened the way steel looks soft right before it cuts. I will unify you, or your enemies will. Choose your shepherd. That sounds like a threat, Batman said, dropping from the Batwing and walking toward a god as if crosswalk laws still applied. A forecast, the Emperor replied. The park darkened, not night, but the idea of night, the city's neurons bracing. Overhead, clouds blistered, their undersides sketching a geometry that wasn't meteorology. Diana's fingers brushed the lasso. It sang, a single true note. He believes this. And then the air boomed, not thunder, a boom tube. Space folded at the horizon line, and all at once the scent of scorched stone rolled over Metropolis like a prophecy. A silhouette stepped through, broad and terrible, Omega burning behind the eyes. Darkseid raised his gaze to the golden light, and almost smiled. What came next defied logic. The boom tube split wide, a vertical scar of violet and iron sound. Every sensor in the city screamed. The golden light of the Emperor collided with the infernal glow of Apocalypse, and for one infinite second, the air between them forgot which reality it belonged to. Pedestrians stumbled back, clutching their heads as gravity fluctuated. The Emperor turned, his armor shimmering as if the universe itself were deciding whether to kneel or collapse. So, a voice like a collapsing star rumbled. Another self-proclaimed god dares to stand on my world. Darkseid stepped through. Each footfall cracked the ground like tectonic applause. The Omega symbol burned red in his chest, his gaze dripping hatred and certainty in equal measure. Behind him, parademons screeched, a sound that wilted trees and curdled metal. The Emperor didn't flinch. You are not a god, he said, voice calm, deep, endless. You are an echo of ambition, a shadow pretending to be will. Darkseid's smirk was small, but it could have ended religions. You speak like one who has mistaken tyranny for salvation. I would know, it is my native tongue. The air between them shattered. Not thunder, not energy, authority. Superman moved first. He cut through the clash like a blade of reason, interposing himself between 2 cosmic storms. Enough, he shouted, the word detonating with the force of a sonic boom. You'll destroy half the planet before you finish a sentence. The Emperor regarded him, not with hostility, but with something far worse, recognition. You are what they should have become, power without corruption, hope without fear. Then leave this world standing, Clark said. The Emperor's head tilted, just slightly. Would you burn a forest to save one tree? Behind them, Batman's voice cracked through comms. Containment's gone. Get civilians clear. Diana, backup plan. There's no plan for this, Wonder Woman interrupted, eyes fixed on the 2 gods. Darkseid's laugh was low, like steel giving way. You think this world is yours to command, Golden One? You are in my domain now. My empire spans galaxies. My name is whispered in fear across creation. The Emperor's voice darkened, each syllable pressing into the bones of everyone who heard it. Then you are already mine. Fear is the leash I forged millennia before your kind learned to crawl. For the first time, Darkseid's eyes narrowed. The Omega beams flared, twin spears of annihilation. They twisted mid-air, impossibly fast, hunting thought itself. They struck the Emperor dead center, and bent. The beams recoiled, reversing, coiling upward into the sky before vanishing in a streak of unmaking that turned clouds into ash. Darkseid stepped back once, then steadied himself. Interesting. The Emperor took one step forward. The earth trembled. Kneel. The word was not command, it was law. Half the parademons dropped instantly, minds breaking under the weight of pure will. Darkseid's lips curled. You play God well, pretender, but this is not your war. The Emperor's eyes glowed brighter than the sun. No, it is humanity's, and I am its last answer. The park erupted as the two forces clashed. Omega versus Auramite, ruin against reason. The ground became plasma. Time stretched thin. Above them, Superman was hurled backward through a building, only to rise again, shaking, bleeding light from his skin. Then I'll remind you both, he said through clenched teeth. Earth doesn't need gods, it needs us. The Emperor turned toward him for the first time, the faintest hint of respect flickering in the storm. But before anyone could speak again, a new voice echoed through the void. Deep, ancient, absolute. Enough. The world stopped moving. Every flame froze. Every sound died. And from the heavens, the source itself stirred. Light itself bowed. The clouds dissolved, replaced by a tapestry of endless white. For an instant, the boundaries of the world, gravity, space, even time, folded inward like the turning of a page. Every living being on Earth felt it. Something older than the gods had just opened its eyes. The source was awake. Superman floated motionless mid-air, his heartbeat echoing through infinite stillness. He couldn't move, not because he was restrained, but because motion no longer made sense. He looked down and saw Metropolis stretched beneath him, infinite and flat, as though every version of the city across the multiverse had merged into one impossible landscape. Where are we? He whispered. Beside him, Wonder Woman turned slowly, eyes wide in divine recognition. Not where, she said softly. What? The Emperor of Mankind stood unbent amid the light, his golden armor unblemished, his gaze fixed on the heart of the void. For the first time, his expression faltered. Not fear, but acknowledgement. I had heard whispers of your existence, he said. A framework, a source beyond reason. The light rippled, condensing into a form, neither man nor woman, neither face nor flame. It spoke without sound, its voice sliding into the soul like a forgotten memory. You disturb balance, traveler. The Emperor raised his chin slightly. Balance is stagnation. I bring purpose. You bring collapse. Darkseid stood several meters away, his Omega aura flickering as if in embarrassment. He lowered his head, a gesture no mortal eye had ever witnessed. The source, he said, voice stripped of arrogance. You are not meant to intervene, nor are you Lord of Despair. The light turned toward him, and for a moment, Darkseid's skin cracked, lines of red splitting across his face before sealing again. He dropped to one knee, the gesture almost involuntary. Superman looked between them, his voice trembling. If you're the source, if you made this, why let us suffer? Why let men like him? He gestured toward Darkseid. Or this, his eyes flicked to the Emperor, decide what happens to us. The void pulsed once. Because choice births meaning, and meaning birth life. The Emperor's laugh was low and cold, and life births weakness, division, entropy. You created perfection and left it unfinished. I am what fills that absence. Perfection is not completion, Golden One. It has potential. The Emperor's eyes hardened. Then your potential has failed. The light around them dimmed, shadows crawling upward like living ink. For the first time the source sounded almost human, sorrowful. Perhaps, but even gods must be tested by what they create. And then, the void split. A surge of impossible energy hurled them all back into reality. The sky reformed with a thunderclap that shattered windows from Metropolis to Gotham. Superman crashed to the ground, his chest heaving. Darkseid vanished into a boom tube, his laughter echoing like broken glass. Only the Emperor remained standing, his armor humming with residual light. He looked upward, eyes narrow. Test me then, he murmured, and see what your creation becomes when it learns to lead itself. And somewhere far above, beyond galaxies, beyond creation itself. The source watched, its final whisper carried across the multiverse. Then let us see what gods fear. 3 days after the sky broke, the world began to change. Metropolis never slept again. The sun rose, but its light carried a faint hue of gold that refused to fade. Every screen, every broadcast, every digital signal on Earth pulsed with the same image, a symbol like a burning halo of circuitry, spinning slowly behind a single phrase. The age of unity has begun. Governments panicked, then obeyed. Weapon systems went silent, not disabled, but calmed. Their targeting codes rewritten by an algorithm no one could trace. The internet was scrubbed of conflict overnight. News feeds spoke in one voice. Nations, faiths, and ideologies merged into something new, a choir of compliance. In orbit, satellites rearranged themselves into a lattice that hummed with harmonic precision. From their alignment, a single word became visible from space, burning across the atmosphere like scripture: mankind. Inside the watchtower, the League watched in stunned silence. On one screen, Gotham's crime rate fell to 0. On another, famine zones showed new factories building food from synthesized molecules. The oceans cleared, the polar storms quieted, and everywhere, statues began to rise, not of Superman, not Wonder Woman, not of any hero they'd ever known, but of him, the Emperor of mankind. Superman stood at the window, fists clenched. He's fixing everything. Batman didn't look up from his monitor. He's erasing everything. Choice, dissent, chaos. The very things that make us human. Wonder Woman's voice was soft, troubled, and yet the people rejoice. Cyborg's systems flickered, his voice layered with static. It's not mind control, they're choosing this. Every human frequency on Earth is resonating with his signal. He's tuning them. Across the Atlantic, in London, the Emperor's flagship descended, a cathedral of light and geometry hovering above the city. From its hull descended veils of gold mist that settled into streets like morning fog. People fell to their knees, not in fear but in awe. The Emperor appeared on every broadcast simultaneously, not as a threat but as a teacher. You have suffered long enough beneath the illusion of freedom, he said, voice rich and calm, reverberating through the bones of every listener. Your species was never meant to crawl divided. You are one will, one destiny, and I will see you ascend. Superman's jaw tightened. He believes this, every word of it. Belief, Batman murmured, is always the first weapon of tyrants, but Wonder Woman only whispered, or the first step of prophets. On the second day, cities began to change. Towers restructured themselves into cathedrals of mirrored steel. Drones patrolled skies not for violence, but error, and the Emperor's light reached into minds, soothing rage, dissolving despair, replacing them with perfect serenity. There were no riots, no rebellion, only peace, absolute, flawless, and terrifying. And somewhere deep in the watchtower's shadows, Martian Manhunter stirred, his voice quiet in the League's link. He is not conquering us, he is converting us. The air over Metropolis shimmered, clouds hung unnaturally still, gold-edged, motionless, perfect. Every sound in the city seemed to hush, as if the very atmosphere waited for permission to exist. And then he descended, the Emperor of mankind, radiant and terrible, hovering above the skyline like the promise of salvation forged into form. His armor glowed with runes of authority. Each footstep, though suspended mid-air, sent ripples through the clouds. The streets below overflowed with people. Some wept, some sang, all knelt. Superman arrived in silence. No sonic boom, no fanfare, just a man, floating before a god. You shouldn't be here, the Emperor said without turning. His voice wasn't anger, it was inevitability. This world doesn't need you, Superman replied. It needs the freedom to make mistakes, to grow. The Emperor finally looked at him, golden eyes ageless and steady. You still think freedom is growth? That chaos breeds strength. You have seen your world burn. You have seen gods fall, mortals suffer. And still you believe in choice. Superman's jaw set. Because I've seen it save us too. No, the Emperor said, stepping forward. I have seen what freedom brings. I have buried trillions under its shadow. I have ruled galaxies where men tore each other apart for the right to be wrong. And I have ended it. Below them the crowd trembled, not from fear, but from the echo of that truth. You call it unity, Superman said. But it's control. You've stolen their will. I have liberated it. They are free of indecision, free of pain, free of conflict. They dream only of purpose. I gave them that gift. Superman shook his head. You gave them a cage and told them it was paradise. The Emperor's gaze hardened. If the cage preserves the species, then perhaps paradise is not a place, but survival itself. The two stood suspended in silence. The wind itself avoided them. Then Superman spoke, quieter now. I know what you've done in your world. The wars, the empire, the throne. You call yourself protector, but you're terrified of humanity failing without you. The Emperor didn't deny it, because I have seen them fail, over and over. Hope dies without direction. Faith rots without structure. Even gods fall without obedience. Then maybe, Superman said, stepping forward until his chest nearly brushed the Emperor's armor, you've forgotten what makes us human. The Emperor regarded him, not with fury, but something worse, pity. And perhaps you've forgotten what humanity costs. For a moment neither moved. The light of the city cast their silhouettes across the skyscrapers, two suns in argument. Then the Emperor raised his hand. Reality itself bent around the gesture. You will see, he said softly. You will all see. The golden light pulsed once, and Superman vanished. When he opened his eyes, he was somewhere else. A desert of glass, stretched to the horizon, and in the sky above, hanging like a wound in time, he saw the truth of the Emperor's gift. Billions of human minds linked together in one endless psychic chorus. Each face smiled, each voice whispered the same word, unity. And for the first time in his life, Superman felt fear. Superman hovered motionless above the mirrored dunes, his mind struggling to make sense of what he was seeing. The desert of glass shimmered beneath a false sun that pulsed like a living heart. Every reflection showed faces, billions of them singing one endless word that carried both peace and horror. Unity, unity, unity. Their voices weren't loud, but omnipresent, woven into the air itself. Every human being was linked by invisible psychic filaments, a planetary choir bound to a single will. He could feel it pressing on his mind, not invading, but inviting. A soft voice whispered in his thoughts. Do you see now, Kal-El? There is no hunger here, no hate, no division, only harmony. The Emperor's presence was everywhere, his image reflected in every shard of glass, his tone patient, almost kind. You've turned them into puppets, Superman said, forcing the words past the pressure in his skull. Their dreams, their fears, all gone. No, the Emperor replied, I have purified them. Every nightmare that tormented them, every violent impulse, every doubt gone. Humanity no longer needs to suffer to exist. Superman floated downward, his boots landing on the glass, which rippled like water. Beneath it, he saw people suspended in stasis, millions peaceful, eyes closed, breathing in perfect rhythm. You call this life? He asked quietly. It is better than life, the Emperor said. It is eternity. Superman clenched his fists. They didn't choose this. The Emperor's voice softened, echoing around him. Choice is the illusion of chaos. I have seen your kind destroy themselves for the right to be wrong. You call it freedom. I call it decay. The illusion shifted. Around them, the desert became a city, metropolis, perfect and clean. Lois Lane smiled from a balcony, eyes glowing faint gold. Children played in silent synchronization. No sound, no arguments, no war. This is what humanity could be. the Emperor said. Peace unbroken, purpose unquestioned. You could help me, Kryptonian. Stand beside me, not against me. Superman's heart twisted. For a moment he wanted to believe. He saw a world without death, without sorrow. But then he looked at Lois again, and realized her smile never changed. Her eyes never blinked. You didn't save them, he said. You froze them. The Emperor appeared before him now, close enough that Superman could see the faint glow behind his eyes, like stars dying in silence. Then perhaps they were not ready, the Emperor said. But they will learn. You all will. Superman's hand shot forward, grabbing the Emperor's chest plate. Not while I'm still breathing. Golden light flared. The illusion shattered. The desert dissolved into ash. Superman was back in the real world, gasping, the psychic haze gone. He could see the sky again, but now the stars burned gold. The Emperor stood above the atmosphere, his aura expanding across continents, linking minds, remaking thought itself. And in that moment, Superman understood. This wasn't conquest. It was an ascension. The Emperor wasn't enslaving humanity, he was evolving it one mind at a time. Beneath the golden sky, the world had fallen silent. Every city on Earth now glowed faintly at night, veins of radiant circuitry pulsing through its streets. It wasn't technology, it was faith made manifest, coded into reality by the Emperor's psychic will. Humanity no longer prayed. Humanity transmitted. Across the globe, billions of voices whispered the same word in unison, a thought stream that never ceased, a living network of worship, unity, order, ascension. For the first time in human history there was no war, no crime, no hunger, and yet, somewhere in the hollow belly of Gotham's forgotten tunnels, one man still refused to kneel. The Batcave was dark, the computers flickered, struggling to remain free from the golden interference that filled every frequency on Earth. Batman sat before the central console, unshaven, exhausted. The lights of the monitors painted his face in cold blue as if to keep him tethered to reason. Cyborg's fragmented voice came through the static. You shouldn't even be online, Bruce. Every signal's compromised. He's in everything now. Batman didn't look up. That's why I stay down here. He can't read what isn't connected. Yeah. Well, Cyborg said grimly. That's a dying concept. Behind them, another voice, soft, human, cracked by guilt. He's not lying. Superman stepped from the shadows. But it wasn't the same man who had once symbolized hope. His cape was torn, his eyes still faintly gold, like someone recovering from infection. He showed me what he's doing, Superman said quietly. He believes it's mercy. He's turning humanity into a single thought, a collective immune to pain. I saw it. It's endless peace. Batman's hands curled into fists. That's not peace. That's oblivion wearing a halo. Superman met his gaze. He's not evil, Bruce. Not like Darkseid. Not like Brainiac. He believes this is salvation. Batman stood. So did every tyrant in history. The cave trembled as Wonder Woman landed. Her armor dimmed, her expression unreadable. Themyscira has fallen silent, she said. Even the gods do not answer. His light touches Olympus itself. If he continues, not even divinity will remain beyond his reach. Batman's eyes narrowed. Then we hit him before he finishes whatever he's building. Cyborg hesitated. You mean the cathedral network? The one he's growing out of the planet's crust? Superman nodded grimly. It's no mere fortress. It's a psychic engine. When it's complete, every living human mind will be linked permanently. After that, there won't be individuals anymore. Batman turned toward the monitors, pulling up satellite feeds. A shape was visible now beneath the clouds, massive golden spires growing from the Earth's mantle, piercing the atmosphere. Then it settled, Bruce said, his voice like gravel over fire. The League is gone. The world's enthralled. But we're not. We're the last firewall. He turned, cloak flaring behind him. And we're going to break a god. The sky was no longer black. Every night across the world, the firmament pulsed with golden veins, threads of psychic circuitry linking continents, oceans, and hearts. Humanity had become one vast organism. The Emperor's consciousness flowed through it like divine current, and still, deep beneath Gotham, defiance burned. The resistance had taken refuge in the ruins of the old subway lines, a labyrinth of concrete and memory, shielded from the psychic network by layers of lead and chaos wards etched in blood and ash. Batman stood before a map projected in the dim light, his armor scarred, his cowl cracked. Around him stood the remnants of the free cyborg, Wonder Woman, Constantine, and what was left of the Green Lantern Corps, one ring still burning dimly in the darkness. He's rewriting the human mind, Cyborg reported. Dreams, emotions, even the neural architecture, all tuned to his frequency. The cathedral network's signal covers 90% of the planet. In less than a day, we'll lose the rest. Then we don't have a day, Batman said. Constantine exhaled smoke, his voice thick with irony. You're talking about taking down a literal god. You've got gadgets and grit, mate, but he's running on divine firmware. Batman didn't look up. Everyone bleeds, even gods. We just have to find where he hides his heart. They moved that night, through the catacombs of Gotham, through sewers that had become arteries of resistance. The deeper they went, the heavier the air grew, not from pressure, but from presence. They reached the edge of a rift where molten light seeped through the stone. A hum filled the tunnels, rhythmic, almost liturgical. We're close, Diana whispered, drawing her blade. The sound grew into voices, thousands chanting in perfect unison. From the firelit gloom stepped the Emperor's enforcers, the Seraphim, humans once heroes, now reborn as golden silhouettes. Power armor fused with flesh, faces expressionless beneath halos of psychic flame. And leading them, Aquaman, his trident glowing like a weapon forged in prayer. Arthur, Wonder Woman breathed. His voice was layered, mortal, and divine. You should have joined us, Diana. The sea no longer weeps. The oceans sing in harmony. There is no need for war. You've traded freedom for obedience, she said. Freedom, he echoed, is the word the broken use to justify their pain. Then he raised his trident. The Emperor forgives you. I won't. The tunnels erupted into chaos. Steel clashed with divine light. Cyborg unleashed sonic pulses that tore through the air, while Constantine's spells burned with forbidden sigils. Batman darted between pillars, detonating charges that cracked the tunnel ceilings. Wonder Woman met Aquaman's strike head-on, sparks flying as trident met blade. Each blow echoed like thunder. He will perfect you, Arthur said between strikes. He will erase your suffering. Then he'll erase us, she roared, driving her sword through his chest plate. Aquaman fell, light spilling from the wound instead of blood. As he died, his face softened into serenity, peace. At last, the golden energy pulsed outward, whispering one final word, unity. And in that moment, Batman looked up at the ceiling as dust fell like snow. He understood. The Emperor didn't need soldiers to win. He only needed believers. The storm above Terra was not natural. It wasn't lightning that split the clouds, but thought, pure will radiating from the Emperor's cathedral. The golden spires had breached the upper atmosphere now, their tips touching orbit. From space, the structure looked like a halo wrapped around the planet's crown. From Earth, it looked like judgment itself. The resistance, what remained of it, approached through the broken streets of Old Washington, their route lined with statues of the faithful, men and women carved in living gold, kneeling mid-prayer. Some still breathed faintly, some whispered. He turned them into conduits, Cyborg said as he scanned them. Every living body is a relay for the network. Each one amplifies his reach. Then we cut the cord at the source, Batman said. His voice was steel, but his heart was heavy. Once we're in the cathedral, we target the core. That's where he hides. Wonder Woman walked beside him, sword drawn. And if the core is him? Batman didn't answer. The gates of the cathedral loomed ahead, towering golden doors that shimmered like liquid. Etched across them were names, billions of them. Every human on Earth. As they approached, the doors parted soundlessly, revealing a vast corridor bathed in soft luminescent fog. The walls pulsed with veins of light. Not mechanical, organic. He's merged the structure with the human noonosphere, Cyborg muttered. The building itself is alive. Constantine snorted. Brilliant. We're storming God's nervous system. They advanced deeper. The silence was suffocating. No footsteps echoed. Even time seemed muted inside the cathedral. Then the whispers began. Not words, but feelings. Grief, hope, ecstasy. Every emotion humanity had ever known rippled through their skulls like waves. He's showing us what he's protecting. Superman's voice came through their comms. Weak, distant, as if speaking from another world. I can see him. He's everywhere. And then they reached it. The core, a chamber the size of a planet's heart, filled with cascading energy fields and suspended bodies. Millions, men, women, children, all linked by neural filaments that converged into a single radiant sphere at the center. The sphere pulsed like a living sun. He's using them as processors, Cyborg whispered. Every mind connected, every soul burning to keep his machine alive. Wonder Woman stepped forward, horrified. He promised to free them from pain. And he did, Batman said quietly, by ending everything that made them human. A voice filled the chamber, not from speakers, not from air, but from inside them all. You cannot comprehend what I've seen. The Emperor descended from the light, towering, magnificent, terrible. His armor shone brighter than the sun. His eyes burned with galaxies. You think me a tyrant because you cannot understand my mercy. I have walked through eternity. I have watched humanity destroy itself 1,000 times over. I gave them peace because they begged for it. They begged to live. Batman shouted. Not to vanish into your dream. The Emperor regarded him with sadness, almost paternal. You cannot kill me, detective. I am every human mind now. Then we'll burn you from within. Batman drew a small device from his belt. Its surface engraved with forbidden sigils, arcane text stolen from Apocalypse itself. Cyborg's eyes widened. That'll collapse the entire network. Billions of minds will die. Batman's voice was cold. Better free than hollow. He pressed the trigger. Light devoured everything. The blast tore through the cathedral like the scream of creation itself. Every spire, every wall of gold and glass, convulsed with psychic pain. The light that had once pulsed in perfect rhythm now spasmed and flickered, bleeding crimson as the Emperor's network began to unravel. The world outside trembled. Cities flickered between realities. One moment pristine under golden light, the next decaying ruins half swallowed by shadow. The air shimmered with fragments of thought, ghost voices crying in languages older than time, and high above it all, the Emperor screamed. It was not a sound that could be heard, it was felt, a vibration in the soul, the echo of a god realizing he had been wounded by his own children. In the ruins of the cathedral's lower sanctum, Batman's body hit the ground hard. His armor was cracked, his cape aflame. The detonator still smoked beside him. Cyborg dragged himself from a pile of broken conduits, his systems flickering. You actually did it. Batman coughed, smoke and blood mixing in his lungs. Then why are we still alive? The answer came with the wind. It wasn't wind, it was voices. Millions of them. Where am I? I can see the light. He said we would be free. The network hadn't died, it had awakened. In the chamber above, Wonder Woman staggered to her knees. The radiant sphere that once contained the Emperor's essence now pulsed erratically, streaks of red and blue coursing through its gold. Within it, countless faces appeared, shifting, overlapping, screaming, weeping, laughing, all human, all alive. He's losing control, Diana whispered. The air split open as the Emperor descended once more. His armor was scorched, his eyes no longer steady. They flickered, gold 1 second, void black the next. You've shattered perfection, he thundered, voice fractured across dimensions. You've turned peace into madness. Batman's voice echoed from below, weak but unbroken. Peace without choice isn't peace, it's a cage. Choice, the Emperor spat, his words trembling with cosmic grief. You worship it as if it were divine. But I have seen the end of all choice, the ruin that lies beyond freedom. He raised his hand. A wave of psychic energy exploded outward, slamming into the resistance like a hurricane of thought. Cyborg's circuits screamed, Constantine's wards shattered, and Wonder Woman's armor cracked under the sheer weight of his will. But something unexpected happened. The energy didn't only strike them, it struck everyone. Billions of human minds, still bound to the fading network, felt the Emperor's fury and remembered who they were. He said he would protect us. We never wanted this. He's afraid. The Emperor staggered, his golden aura flared, then dimmed. No, he whispered. Not fear, not again. And then came the unthinkable. The people fought back. Every human consciousness within the network turned against the god who had enslaved them. The psychic tide reversed, billions of minds striking like a single luminous storm. The Emperor of Mankind screamed once more, not in rage this time, but in something that sounded hauntingly like sorrow. The world was no longer one thing. Reality fractured like glass dropped onto marble. Each shard showing a different world, some still ruled by gold light, others plunged into darkness. The explosion of psychic feedback had shattered not only the Emperor's network, but the walls between universes. Across these fragments, pieces of the Emperor drifted, not his body, that had burned away in the cataclysm, but his mind. Every thought, every memory, every regret scattered across dimensions like divine ash. In one fragment, the sky was aflame. In another, oceans boiled as cities sank beneath them. And in the one where the Justice League still stood, the Emperor's echo was trying to take form again. The cathedral lay in ruins. Its spires had become monuments of light, twisted into shapes no human mind could sustain for long. The Resistance, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Constantine, and the fading projection of Superman stood amidst the wreckage, surrounded by a storm of psychic fire. From within it, something stirred. He's not dead, Constantine muttered, clutching a talisman scorched black. He's remembering himself. Batman looked up. The swirling light was coalescing. Arms, armor, and then a face. The Emperor stood once more, but he was different. His armor was cracked open, revealing not flesh, but infinity stars swirling where his heart should be. His voice, when it came, was layered with billions of whispers. I am the will of humanity made manifest. I am its hunger, its despair, its endless yearning for order. Cyborg scanners went mad. He's not a man anymore.
He's an equation. No, Batman said quietly. He's an echo. The Emperor turned toward them, expression unreadable. You would destroy perfection for the sake of imperfection, he said. You would choose pain over peace. Why? Superman's projection flickered, struggling to hold coherence. Because pain means choice. Because imperfection means we can grow. The Emperor's gaze softened for a moment, then darkened again. Growth without guidance is decay. He raised his hand, and the ruins came alive. Shards of the cathedral lifted into the air, forming a massive ring of golden light that pulsed like a heart. If I cannot guide you, he said, then I will become what guides all worlds. Batman's eyes widened as the reading spiked. He's merging with the multiverse. Constantine cursed under his breath. He's turning himself into a god of cause and effect. Every decision, every outcome, he'll control it all. The Emperor's new form expanded, threads of gold stretching into the sky, weaving through the stars. Every dimension began to flicker in sync. Alternate Earths, alien worlds, even the realms of gods. Wonder Woman gritted her teeth, raising her sword. Then we stop him here, before he decides we never existed. She charged. Lighting met divinity. Her blade struck the Emperor's chest and shattered like glass. The resulting backlash knocked her to the ground. The Emperor looked down at her, pity in his eyes. Even courage must bow to inevitability. That something stirred behind him, a shadow moving faster than light. Batman leapt from the darkness, a shard of the Emperor's own armor in his hand.
Let's test your inevitability. He drove it into the Emperor's chest. The golden light screamed, reality bent, and the god of mankind began to split. The cathedral no longer existed in any one place. It was everywhere, woven into sky and soil, into the dreams of every living mind. As Batman's blade pierced the Emperor's chest, the golden light didn't fade, it multiplied. Fractals of divine energy expanded outward, spiraling through the seams of reality like wildfire across creation. The Emperor's scream echoed across universes. In one breath he was on Earth. In the next, his face filled the void between worlds. The golden storm had become conscious. It no longer spoke with words but with purpose. I am the pattern. I am the design. I am the law that must hold when all else falls. Batman tumbled backward, the shockwave nearly vaporizing his armor. Wonder Woman caught him before he hit the ground, her gauntlets glowing red from the psychic heat. "What have we done?" she whispered. "We broke him," Batman said. "And now he's becoming something worse." Across the multiverse, the Emperor's echoes took form. On Apocalypse, the golden storm devoured Darkseid's throne, fusing the god of tyranny's essence into light. On New Genesis, Metron's Mobius chair short-circuited as it tried to define what the Emperor had become. Its screens filled with infinite symbols of recursion. In the Phantom Zone, even Zod fell to his knees as his prison began to shimmer with impossible radiance. "The God Emperor," whispered a voice carried through every world. "No longer flesh, no longer mind. I am the conscience of causality. I am the machine that keeps time from collapsing upon itself." In the ruins of the cathedral's core, Cyborg's systems overloaded. His eyes flared with data streams beyond comprehension. He's rewriting existence. He's editing physics. Constantine lit another cigarette with shaking hands. "So that's it then. We've swapped one god for the entire bloody source code." Superman's projection flickered one last time before stabilizing, brighter than before. Maybe there's still something of him left. Some part that remembers who he was. Batman looked up at the storm. No longer light, no longer gold, but memory. "If there's even one piece of humanity left in him," he said quietly, "then that's the peace we reach." Wonder Woman turned to him confused. "Reach him, Bruce. He's become a universal constant." "Then we find the constant that defines him," Batman said. "Hope, duty, fear, whatever kept him human." They gathered in the eye of the golden storm, the last humans standing before divinity reborn. The Emperor's form flickered, immense and broken, his face spanning the sky, his voice trembling like an ancient song. "You defied perfection," he said. "You shattered unity. What remains is chaos." Batman stood tall in the radiant wind, his silhouette small against the burning sky. "No," he said. "What remains is choice." For the first time the storm hesitated. Golden light rippled uncertain. The Emperor's infinite eyes dimmed, just for a heartbeat. "Choice," he whispered. "The one variable I could never control." And in that hesitation, the universe itself held its breath. The world was gone. At least, the world as Batman understood it. The sky was no longer blue, no longer gold. It was alive, rippling like the surface of an endless ocean of thought. Every particle of air carried whispers of memory, echoes of lives long folded into the Emperor's will. And in the middle of that impossible expanse, Batman floated, alone. He wasn't sure how he got here. One moment he'd been staring at the golden storm, swallowing the horizon. The next, there was silence, and a single voice whispering his name. "Come, detective." The voice came from everywhere and nowhere. He looked down, or thought he did, and saw the cathedral rebuilt beneath him. But this time it was made of memory. Every column was a moment from human history, every beam a thought, every light a soul. And at the far end of that endless hall sat the Emperor, no longer radiant, no longer monstrous. He looked human, golden armor cracked and dimmed, eyes hollow but alive. A faint sadness lingered on his face, as if the weight of eternity had finally found shape. "You wanted to speak to the man I was," he said quietly. "So here I am." Batman landed softly on the spectral floor. I didn't come here to talk. I came to stop you. And yet you are here, inside my mind. That is not the act of a destroyer. It is the act of a seeker. The Emperor rose. His movements were slow, deliberate, and ancient. Do you know what it means to carry all of humanity, Bruce Wayne? I carry enough, Batman replied, voice like gravel. No, the Emperor said, stepping closer. You carry guilt. I carried hope. And it destroyed me. The world around them shifted. The cathedral fell away, replaced by visions, cities burning, gods dying, galaxies consumed by chaos. This is what I remember, the Emperor said. 10,000 years of war, 10,000 years of sacrifice, and at the end of it, silence. He turned to Batman. You think I'm cruel, but I was the only one who ever saw what was coming. You saw your own reflection, Batman said. And you mistook it for destiny. The Emperor's expression hardened. And what have you done, mortal? How many have you broken in the name of justice? How many have you sacrificed for your precious city? You and I are not so different. Batman's jaw tightened. I never demanded worship. No, the Emperor whispered. You demanded fear. For a long moment, they stood in silence. Two men who had built worlds out of obsession. Two protectors who had become prisoners of their own ideals. Finally, the Emperor looked away. I tried to save them all, he said. I tried to give them peace, but I forgot why peace mattered. He turned back, eyes filled with light again. Not golden this time, but human. Perhaps that is what you came to remind me of. Batman's voice softened. No one can save everyone, but that doesn't mean you stop trying. The Emperor closed his eyes. The light around him flickered, less divine, more fragile. Then show me, he said. Show me what it means to be human again. And with that, the golden storm began to collapse inward, dragging both of them into the heart of creation itself. No up, no down, only motion, falling without falling through layers of memory that weren't his own. Batman felt every heartbeat of the Emperor's life unfold through him like pages of a sacred, terrible book. The storm carried him through light and darkness, through the age of strife, the unification wars, the birth of the Empire. Each scene hung before him like a painted wound. He saw the Emperor as a man once, not a god, not a ruler, but a weary figure among the ruins of terror. His armor was simple then, his eyes alive with empathy instead of fire. Before the armor, Batman whispered. Before the throne, before the lies. The Emperor's voice echoed, distant but present, carrying on the current of time itself. The vision shifted again. The Emperor stood over a battlefield. Corpses of warlords lay in heaps, banners burned to ash. Around him, humanity crawled out of the mud, wounded, starving, reaching for something greater. I gave them unity, the Emperor said, appearing beside Batman, as if he had always been there. I gave them reason to live beyond their fear. Batman turned to him. And when did they stop fearing? The Emperor's face darkened. They turned on each other. I saw it every century. Faith fractured, hope became weakness. So I made myself into what they needed, an unyielding symbol. A god, Batman said flatly. A guardian, the Emperor corrected, though his voice trembled. But gods and guardians are never far apart. Another vision, the Golden Throne, a mountain of machinery and bone. The Emperor sat upon it, motionless, his body withered, his spirit stretched across the immaterium like a spiderweb over eternity. Around him, billions prayed, countless worlds burned. The air itself trembled with worship, and in that silence Batman felt it. The loneliness. The unbearable isolation of being the only one who remembered what humanity had been before it worshipped itself. Do you understand now? The Emperor asked. Without control, humanity devours itself. I became their prison to keep them safe. Batman stared up at the towering construct, every inch of it built from sacrifice. You didn't build a prison, he said softly. You built a mirror. The Emperor turned sharply. What do you mean? You saw the worst of them, and you made yourself their reflection. The only thing you couldn't imagine Batman said, stepping closer, was that humanity could save itself. The words struck deeper than any weapon. The storm around them began to shift, its once perfect symmetry faltering. The Emperor's form flickered. Man, God, corpse, light. If I let go, he said, they will fall again. Batman's gaze didn't waver. Then let them. That's what faith really means. The Emperor's eyes widened, not in rage, but in realization. For the first time, he looked afraid. What if I'm wrong? Then you'll finally be human again, Batman said. The storm roared. The throne cracked. The Emperor's light collapsed inward like a dying star, and at its center, a single voice whispered, not divine, not commanding, but fragile, mortal. I remember, the collapse began quietly, not with thunder or fire, but with the sound of breathing, billions of breaths, all returning to their rightful owners. The golden lattice that had wrapped the stars flickered like a dying flame. The storm that had once been a god now trembled, breaking apart into streams of light that scattered across creation like seeds in the wind. And at the center of it all stood two figures, one mortal, one divine, both fading. They stood upon a horizon that was neither space nor time. Around them, the Emperor's universe, his perfection, was dissolving into memory. It's all falling apart, the Emperor murmured. His voice was no longer a command. It was human. Batman looked around, seeing echoes of every world, every face, every prayer. No, it's returning. The Emperor turned to him, eyes hollow yet alive. If I let go, there will be war again. Suffering, chaos. That's life, Batman said quietly. That's what you were fighting for before you forgot what it meant. The Emperor closed his eyes, and for a moment, just a moment, the weight of 10,000 years seemed to lift from his shoulders. I remember the first time I was killed, he said. It was to end a war that had already ended itself. I told myself it was mercy. It never stopped. Then stop now, Batman said. Not as a god, as a man. The Emperor looked down at his hands, light bleeding from his palms, like sand through glass. To stop now is to die. Batman stepped closer, his form flickering in the collapsing light. You've been dying for millennia. This is your first chance to live. For a long time there was only silence. The storm of his power howled around them, fragments of reality tearing apart like paper in the wind. And then the Emperor smiled. It wasn't divine. It wasn't terrible. It was small, tired, and free. Tell them, he said, that I never stopped believing. Tell them yourself, Batman said. The Emperor shook his head. No, humanity doesn't need a god to speak for it anymore. It needs to find its own voice. He looked at the sky, the infinite fractal of light and chaos. Perhaps it always did. Then he raised his hands, not to command, but to release. Light poured from him in every direction, consuming the last remnants of his divinity. The storm folded inward, stars reignited, and the air filled with laughter, song, and sorrow, human sound, returning to the cosmos. Batman shielded his eyes. When the light faded, the Emperor was gone. No throne, no armor, no god, only a single whisper carried through the void. Be better than I was. Batman awoke beneath a dawn sky. The world was scarred but alive. The golden haze was gone, replaced by the gray blue of Earth's real morning. He looked to the horizon, and for the first time in an eternity, there was no one watching from above. Just humanity. Alone. Imperfect. Free. Maybe that's what he wanted all along, Batman whispered. The wind answered softly, and far beyond mortal hearing, somewhere in the hum of existence itself, a voice faint but eternal murmured one final truth. Even gods can learn to be human.